pulling out of the start here, pretty good position. Trying to keep up here with Tony and Tim. I let them get a start on me. Now we're usually pretty close, three of us coming off the start. So I'm just trying to keep up with these guys. They're not in my class, but I like to try to keep up with them. And I was looking at the times at the end of the race, and I really was only about 2 minutes off of their pace for the race. So felt pretty good about that. Those guys ride pretty good. So we're just trying to keep up here for a little while. The weather today is just awesome. Maybe just a little bit hot, but it's really was really good actually. I mean, hot enough to, you know, keep you hot enough just to separate the guys who can't take some of the heat. But it was good. It might have been like 80, you know, 85 or 86, something like that. It's just a little bit overcast, so it really was not bad at all. I'm not going to try to say how good the dirt was 50 times, but I might say how good the dirt was 50 times, because it was that good. Track was just primo condition. Looks like I'm sneaking up on my brother here. Going straight here is the pro line. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but back there, right when I went straight up this pro line, that was Tony pulled off the track, and I slowed the video down because I couldn't figure out what the deal was, and I'm pretty sure that his seat was off of his bike. So yeah, that would be a bad deal. So I think his seat had fallen off, and he was like sitting on it sideways or something. So I don't think he could complete the race like that. So whatever. I know that Tony came back because he got, I think, second place in senior. So he was able to get that seat taken care of and get back on the track, I would say, fairly quick. So they're up ahead. You see that I'm still keeping up. I'm at least keeping Tim honest here and trying to keep up with Tim a little bit. I like to try and keep up with him and Tony as long as I can, because that helps me to get faster. I would like to complain a little bit about being held up this race on purpose by a few guys, but I'll try not to complain. That's not that guy right there. Later in the race, I had a couple of guys that just literally would not get out of the way. So I don't know what the deal is there. I try to get out of the way when somebody's faster than me, but that's just me. Some people might think it's not racing, I guess, if you don't try to block everybody, but I don't know. That's just not me. But again, back to the dirt, you can tell it's just awesome. I might have already said that. So Tim's just barely sneaking out on me now. He's right there at the bottom of the hill. Still trying to just keep him honest here a little bit. There were two paths down off that hill, and later in the race I kind of keep trying to figure out which one is which. A lot of passes here early in this race, and that's because we started on row 8. So we had novice lights and novice heavy in front of us. So Tim and I are filing through these novice guys pretty quick, just trying to get a good pace going here. Yeah, you can tell here the dirt is just primo. I've been doing some clicker adjustments on my bike, and man, I just really happy with my bike right now. You all know ProTune does my suspension, and I've been happy with it since they've done it. I had my suspension originally done by ProTune probably 3 years ago, and to this point I haven't had them change the valving at all. I was talking to Brent a little bit yesterday, and I have my rebound set on my bike, probably might revalve the front of my bike a tiny bit. But I will tell you what, today my bike was just working really well. I don't have new tires, but it felt like it. I stiffened the compression up on my bike a tiny bit. Practicing during the week, I just realized that with it as soft as I had it, that there were some obstacles that actually, I think it just soaked it up too much and made me slower. So again, catching up to more people here fairly quickly. A lot of passes here on the first lap. Course today is, I think Dummy said it was 7 or 7.5 miles. Yeah, this was really the only kind of snafu I made the whole race, other than one other little tiny excursion like that. I came down to that off-camber and thought about leaning it in to try to stay on the track there, but just felt like, you know what, on the first lap with a good start, I'll just ease off the track and ease back on versus trying to lay it over and stay on that off-camber. So here again, you can tell that I'm running a pretty good pace. Working through a lot of guys here in the first couple of laps. I think I got fairly far up into the B class too. I ended up 27th overall. I thought I would have had a better overall placing, but I think there were just a fair number of good riders today, and really with the track as good as it was, there was probably a good number of guys that could go fast on a track like this. So 27th for an old man is not too bad. Again, just a good pace for me, I think. Felt really comfortable at this pace. And as you can tell, we're just catching a lot of guys. Tim has eased out on me a little bit now. I don't see him at this point anymore, but I kept up with him for a pretty long time, so felt pretty good about that. And then I think I mentioned it earlier, but Tony does eventually come back, and I think Tony gets second. So I placed first in Masters today, and there was a guy that I didn't recognize the name who got second in Masters, Glenn Carrillo or something like that. And then Tom Dotson got third, and then Big Dave got fourth. And I think all of us, looks like the first 5 guys, or 5 or 6 guys, all ran 5 laps. But it looked like I was, looking at it now, actually I was on the same minute as the guy in second. So I have to see if I can meet him at some point. Don't recognize the name. A lot of off-camber here at Black Diamond. So if you're not comfortable with off-camber, you're gonna struggle for sure. A lot of turns on off-camber here, which again it's all good. The tougher the better, as far as I'm concerned. I think James Stewart would call this chocolate cake, is what he would call this. The track really had a little bit of everything. You know, a lot of this we have ran before, but the trail was really in good shape, and Dummy worked on some of the flow of it. Definitely, you know, the way that we come in and out of some of the sections had changed a little bit. Absolutely loved the new Pro Line hill that he put in. It was a real steep uphill, really windy, and it was right after the start. Really, I mean, just about not even a mile in. I don't even think it was that first Pro hill. It was super fun. So a lot of this is the normal trail from years past, but everything was just so good that it really kind of all felt new, to be real honest with you. I like this part here that weasels down and through all this tight stuff. I think Some of this might be a little bit new. I think some of this changed a little bit. The grass track was really good. Made a lot of passes in the grass track this race. I was glad that we didn't run through that big sloppy mud hole bottom like we always do. That I was very pleased to not have that in the track. If you guys watched my video from last year, you've seen that that's where I had ran out of gas, so that just brought back bad memories. This section here is really fun, down along this creek section here, and it was not sloppy or slick. Coming up to the bridge crossing here, and again sneaking up on a couple of guys here. Gotta kind of take it slow across this creek crossing, and then we go back up into this grass track area. Again, the flow of the grass track was super fun. They put in, just some easy little doubles here, but still a lot of fun. Just trying to make some more quick passes here. And even with fairly old tires on, my bike really felt really good in this stuff. This here was a lot of fun. Once I kind of ran it the first time and knew kind of what the deal was through here. Later laps, it was just really fun to rail through here. Go through most of this really standing up later in the race, because there's kind of whoops in the middle of all these little turns. So just trying to look for a way by here. Not going to be easy to pass back in this section right here. It's pretty one line. You're really not going to find a way by back in this, but we've got a few sections coming up that a little better for passing. So we're coming up here to I think what is an old railroad grade is what this is up here. It sits up really high and is all really level. Drop down, up and down this a couple times. This is just all a lot of fun. And if I hadn't said it yet, the dirt was just perfect. So we're going to drop out of here and do another grass track section. Again, I'm just kind of pushing for a way by now at this point. I kind of wanted a way by, and I think he was going to cut that turn a little bit tight there, and so gave me a little bit of yell there, try and get by. I was starting to get held up at that point. I was really surprised how well the grass track held up, actually. Most of this, really, even by the end of the race, you couldn't really tell that it had been raced on. So one more time back up onto this railroad grade. And this is all new here from what I remember from last year. All this we're doing now, this is all new. So again, anytime we got new stuff, I'm thrilled. A bunch of little chicken heads poking up through here, you had to kind of work your way through. The mulch pit down in here was fun. I never did try to double that for whatever reason. I just, with the mulch being so soft, I just rolled through there. So back out into the field and have another pretty long grass track section. And again, all of them, I know it's only grass track, but the way that they were laid out, they were just a lot of fun. They were just a good time. It's not that often during a hare scrambles race that you can really wind out your bike in taller gears, and you definitely could today. So the jump over here is new, and I just kind of looked at it the first lap like this. I didn't want to jump at the very first lap, and the reason why is because last year you had to absolutely pin it to make the jump last year, and so when I found out this one was new, I'm like, I'm not gonna jump it the first time. So when I got a good look at it and seen it was pretty mellow, I said I'll hit it the next lap. And I did hit it the next lap, but I tell you, I know it was a little bit faster, but it was a really hard landing on my bike. And so I just decided that I was not going to jump it the rest of the race. So I jumped it on the second lap, and then I just didn't jump it the next 3 laps because I just didn't think it was going to help me that much. I felt like I had a good enough lead to stay in first without jumping that thing. So weasel down through the woods, come across the field a little bit different way here, and I think some of this is going to be new again. This little section here was fun. Kind of came up over that jump, dropped down through here, and I feel like this is new. I don't really remember this from last year, but I really liked this section through here.
Back out.
And I tell you, this stretch coming up right here, and once later in the race, this was a lot of fun. You could just rail up through here and catch some air dropping down off of that lip right there. Almost too fast for me in the woods. It was pretty quick coming up through here later in the race when you knew it was all pretty straight. So here we go. We got another kind of off-camber turn there at the bottom of a hill. We had several of those this year. And sneak along the edge of the cliff here and then drop it back down a little bit. I don't think you could make a track flow better than what this one did today. I mean, it had flow everywhere. The whole track, to me, flowed very nicely. So I think here's, oh no, not quite yet. We're coming up on one of the pro hills that we do every year, that short one. And a couple of years ago, yeah, right here. A couple of years ago, I did take that pro hill, and there's a lot of rock on it and things like that. So I just decided not to take it. So that guy right there, I think this was one of his first races back. I can't remember his name right now. I was parked next to him. But he's out of Kentucky. He looks like he's riding really well. He's riding a senior class. And I think he ended up getting second in the senior class. Second or third. Because I think Tim got first, and maybe... but anyway, he was riding really well. He just now kind of getting back into riding a little bit, so he must be pretty experienced. So we're going to drop down over the hill here and run along the bottom of the hill, and then that'll be a lap here at Black Diamond. Again, if you missed this one, gosh, you're going to kick yourself, because this is some of the best dirt that we've had in almost the last 5 years. It was just great. So hope you see you at the next race.